Welcome to Chapter 3, Lesson 1, Fractions and Decimals. So we're going to start off with some vocabulary. So our first vocabulary word is a repeating decimal, and that's the decimal form of a rational number. It's a terminating decimal if that decimal has an ending point. So a repeating decimal would be like 1/3, so 0.3333 going on forever. A terminating decimal is like 1/4, so 0.25. It ends, it terminates. So any number that, or any fraction that has a pattern or repeats itself is a repeating decimal. Your terminating decimal is where it ends. So we can write fractions as decimals, and there's two ways to do it. You can do it without a calculator or with a calculator, and I'll show you both ways. So without a calculator, 7/8 is literally 7 divided by 8. So you want to figure out how many times this can go in. So you've got 7 divided by 8. 8 doesn't go into 7, so we need to add a decimal point and a 0. 8 goes into 70 8 times, and that would be 64. Sorry, I'm having a slow day today. 70 minus 64 is 6. We need to up here add another 0. Bring it down. 8 goes into 60 7 times, and that's 56. Subtract 60 minus 56 is 40, or 4. We're going to have to bring down another 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times, and that's 40. So we're left with nothing. So the decimal for 7/8 is 0.875. And with a calculator, you can figure that out. It's much easier. You literally punch in 7 divided by 8, enter, and it gives you 0.875. So there's two ways to do it. If you want to challenge yourself and practice your long division, I would suggest just doing it without a calculator. So you can try these ones and check back with my answers that I have. 4/5 is 0.8, and 3/16 is 0.1875. Some more vocabulary here for you is bar notation. So that's when a bar or a line is placed over the digits that repeat to no end. So like 0.3 line, that's the same thing as 0.3333 going on forever. That line just shows you that the 3 is repeating. If it's over multiple numbers, so like 0.125 with a bar over the 25, that would mean the number is 0.1252525. So your bar goes over the numbers that are repeating forever. To write fractions as a decimal, we want to write each fraction as a decimal and use the bar to show a repeating decimal. So when I hit 5 divided by 12 into my calculator, I get 0.416666667. What that means is this 7 here is just being rounded up by the 6 that would be continuing on forever behind it. So our number is actually 0.41, with our 6 repeating forever. Here we've got -2/11. So the first thing I can do is go, okay, our number is going to be negative, and it's a fraction, so it's less than 1. That way I don't forget to put my negative sign. 2 divided by 11 is 0.181818182. That 2 is just the 1 that's repeating on forever being rounded up by the 8 that's behind it. So technically we have 0.18 with the 1/8 repeating on forever. Now you try these ones and check back with my answer. So we're going to have a negative. 5 divided by 6 is 0.83333 forever. So negative 0.83 with the bar over the 3 is what is representative of that. And 7/9, I know 9ths is just the number on top repeating forever, so it's going to look like that in my calculator. And I can just write that as 0.7 with the 7 repeating on forever. Just remember that on your calculator, it's going to round a number up at the end just because calculators aren't perfect. They have to round. They can't be just punching out numbers forever for you. So we've got a word problem here that says, according to the USDA, teenage boys should consume an average of 2,700 calories per day. About 360 calories should come from milk. To the nearest hundredth, what part of a teenage boy's total calories should come from milk? So his total calories are 2,700. The calories from milk he should have are 360. So our part is 360 and our whole is 2,700. I can simplify that down to 36 over 270. Punch it in my calculator, 36 divided by 270, and I get 0.1333. Writing that with bar notation, I would have 0.13 with a bar over the 3. Now you try and check my answer. So it says, in a recent Masters tournament, Zach Johnson's first shot landed on the fairway 45 out of 56 times. To the nearest thousandth, what part of the time did his shot land on the fairway? So his part is 45, his hole is 56. Punching that into my calculator, I get 0.803571,429. My thousandth place is tens, hundreds, thousandths right here. The number behind it tells me I need to round it up. So we'll have 0.804. Now we're going to be comparing fractions and decimals. So we've got one number as a fraction and one number as a decimal. What helps out a lot is to just turn everything into a decimal and then compare it that way. So 1/4 I know is 0.25. So that is greater than 0.2. Negative 5/6. So 5 divided by 6 gets us negative 0.83 repeating. I know any number over 9 is just that number itself repeating over and over forever. So that one's negative 0.6. Remember with negatives, would I rather be in debt 80 cents or be in debt 60 cents? I would rather be in debt 60 cents. So our 60 is greater. Now I want you to try and check back. So into my calculator, 0.875. 0.875 is bigger than 0.87. And then negative 7/15 gets us negative 0.46 repeating. 5/12 gets us negative 0.416 repeating. When you have fractions, the smaller number is actually bigger. When you have negatives, the smaller number is actually bigger. So our 41 is bigger than 46. And last but not least, we've got a couple word problems. So it says 30 out of 36 7th graders and 34 out of 40 8th graders participated in a marathon for charity. Which class had a greater fraction participating in the marathon? So first thing we need to do is get our two fractions. So we'll have 7th and 8th. Our 7th graders were 30 out of 36, and our 8th graders were 34 out of 40. So let's turn those into decimals. So 30 divided by 36 gets us 0.83 repeating. 34 divided by 40 gets us 0.85. So our 8th graders had a greater fraction participating in the marathon. Now you try and check back. So it says over the weekend, 16/28 of the 8th grade girls and 19/30 of the 8th grade boys went to see a new comedy movie. Did a greater fraction of girls or boys see the movie? So our fractions for girls, 16/28 and boys 19/30. Let's turn them into decimals. So 16 divided by 28 gets us 0.5714285571. Our boys, 19 divided by 30 get us 0.63. Repeating. 0.6 is bigger than 0.5. So our boys, a greater fraction of the boys, went to go see the movie.